Okay, next, if you haven't seen my video on passive communication styles and passive communication, I do recommend you have a look at that. There's a little bit of preamble where I explain why I call it passive communication or aggressive communication versus calling the person passive or aggressive. And I think it's really important that we do not identify with our behaviors, with our learned behaviors, because then that limits us in who we can become. So with an aggressive communication style, let's talk about this. So typically, what are aggressive communicators or aggressive people in general? Because sometimes it does actually become a meta state and they just approach everything aggressively. But an aggressive communicator, how do you recognize them? They typically are very, very loud. They tend to use a very hostile tone. They can be very short in what they have to say. They are very direct, and they're very assuming. So they make a lot of assumptions about things. They tend to push their opinions and minimize your feedback if you are in disagreement with them. They really have like a kind of my way or the highway kind of attitude. A lot of times too, like a bull in a china shop, they're running around. They're running around just pushing through things and just push all the time. And they, for a lot of people, can be very intimidating to be around. And if you're behaving that way, you know that. And that's why you're doing it a lot of times, because you're getting what you want by doing that. And what you're not getting, though, is any respect. All right? You're not getting any respect. And you're getting a lot of people sharing the disrespect with other people, which possibly doesn't matter to you, but that's okay. But I don't think you actually want that. You just don't have a better way of getting buy-in or convincing people to see things your way. But that's how you identify an aggressive communicator, and that's that's that part of things. Now, let's understand the motivation. So if you listen to the passive one of the things that aggressive and passive communicators have in common, okay, and I know that they're polar opposites, like one's on one side and one's like literally on the other side, but the motivation behind the behavior, so the why they act like this, is for control. Now, I think it's more obvious with somebody that's being aggressive in the community. They're just trying to control the situation. They try to boss everybody around. But yeah, it's control. And not only is it for control, it's the control is coming from a place of deep insecurity and deep unworthiness. They do not believe at a subconscious level that they deserve to get what they want. I know, again, this sounds a little bit crazy, but I do like to give the motivation, because if it's you that's having a problem with that communication style, just changing the language patterns is going to help, but it's not going to deal with the problem. So you got to kind of get in there and do some work around your, how to grab onto your personal power and how to make the best of things. So anyway, so that's the thing about aggressive communicators and aggressive communication style, is that essentially they're just looking for control. They are out of control. A person that's yelling and screaming, a person that raises their voice and loses their temper a lot, is emotionally out of control, and they're trying to get control. And I think that's all I want to say about that. Passive or aggressive are not ideal. Is there times to be aggressive? I get asked that question a lot. Is there ever a time that we need to be aggressive? I think categorically there could be a benefit to being aggressive in particular situations, particularly if you're being physically, mentally, or emotionally attacked. And you might want to speak up or get loud or get a bit scary. It really is contextual, so I wouldn't want to say yes or no. But I think that there could be a time when being aggressive would be a good idea. I think there's a time when being passive is a good idea. Somebody's sitting there with a gun. You really don't want to start getting all hostile in their face and all proud and stuff. So hope this video helps, and check out the next one on passive aggression and understand the difference between that. And then I'm going to finish up with some information on how to be assertive and what to understand about assertiveness. Have a great day. Catch you later.